Welcome back to this week's Coach's Corner feature as we talk with Ponca City head football coach Rob Fry. The Wildcats wrap up the 2011 high school football season. Yeah, hard to believe. The 10-game season comes to an end Friday in Owasso. Ponca City with senior night this past Friday, the end of a home schedule with a close loss to Bixby 55-46 in a ball game that was as exciting as the final score would indicate. Lots of offense. Coach, as we come down to the final game of the season here, your troops are 2-7, but the last couple of ball games, you really can't say anything. But those guys have given it everything they've got, Coach.
They have. I mean, they really have. You would think that as of Friday with Bixby 600 and some yards total offense, you'd win the football game. But that's the way it's going. You look at scores throughout the state in 6A, and I had a couple coaches call me this weekend and going, what's going on? And they're playing the 21-7, 14-6 ball games, and you look up at 6A and it's 55, 40-something, 60-something, 63. It's nuts. But the kids have come out and they've played hard the last 3 ball games, and that's all we can ask of them. And I felt terrible for the seniors, last time there at Solon Stadium, but not getting the W. But that's the way it went. And like I told Booster Club, we broke a bunch of records and things, this year. And the kids have, and that's all fine and dandy. I just wish it had turned into W's instead of the other way around. So, things are going on.
Well, I hope people realize too that I do interview the boys, and I know a lot of them, and don't think for one second that they wouldn't trade what Coach just said, all those records for a win. I know every week when we talk about it. And sometimes we talk about personal things and sometimes we don't. But I know the players have said to me, I'd give up that yardage if I could just help the team get a win. That's why when we beat Sand Springs, there was a little bit of relief there. And, against Bixby, our guys gave it everything they had. I think probably the positives, when you came off the field, you probably felt like, what do I say, because we scored 46 points and we gave it everything we had. The other side is, I'm sure we're still making mistakes and doing some things that we've been talking about since week 1.
Right, and that's what I talked to them about after the ball game. The mistakes that we've made since week 1. The personal fouls. It's life in general. That's what I told them. I said you got to understand that it's not athletic wise. It's life. You're going to have mistakes. You're going to make mistakes in life for the rest of your life, and it's how you accept it, keep your mouth shut, go on, and then turn around and do the right thing. So that's what we've got to instill in these young men. And you're right, though, about the kids, giving up accolades and all that stuff. They just soon have the W's, and so would we. And the assistant coaches this year have done a whale of a job getting them ready, and we were up there all weekend getting them ready for Owasso. So, we'll have a game plan, and they'll have a game plan, and we'll go out and execute it and let the cards fall where they may.
The one thing that unfortunately we do as sports fans and sportscasters and coaches, we read the scores of other games, and that's a real dangerous thing to do, especially if you play in District 4 and Class 6A, because if you look at those scores every week, very rarely are you seeing the losing teams in the 30s. They're usually in the 40s, and they're the losing teams. The winning teams are in the 40s and 50s and 60s. Heck, we had an 80-point game this year. So if for 1 minute you think that scores of other games mean anything, throw it out, and that includes the Owasso-Ponca game this Friday night.
Right. You turn around. We were, kids played well, and the assistant coach did a great job, and we beat Sand Springs, 35-31. Then you turn around to Owasso, who beats Union. They've got to come from behind, kick a last-second field goal to beat Sand Springs 47-44. So, you throw all that stuff out. It's just how the kids come out and play, how things are going. Football and, athletics in general is so much momentum, and whether the old Mo gets on one side or the other is the way things go, Phil, and it's crazy. You sit there, Oklahoma gets beat by Texas Tech and then goes play the number 8 team, K-State, and just kills them. So, it's nuts. So it's mentally preparedness and going out with your athletic ability and getting some things done. But, we'll go fight tooth and toenail Friday, I guarantee you.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of football. I don't know whether it's the craziest year I've ever seen, but I think from an offensive standpoint, it really could be the strangest year we've seen because of the scores, the points. Every week you look in and it's eye-popping to see the scores and the points that are being run up. And I know we wish we played better on defense, but Coach, if you look at it, everybody is trying to find defense. If there was a team in our district or in 6A that played great defense, their coaches would be in demand. Everybody's looking for defense right now.
Right, it's nuts. I mean, the defense has gone totally out of high school football, in our class, and it's crazy. You used to have those 7 to 6 ball games, and like that. Years ago when I wasn't so stupid, it was 5 games before somebody scored on us. So the offenses, the dink and dunks, and getting everything to come up and then throwing it over deep, and the fast pace, and not trying to and can't run people in and out on defense. It's crazy, but it'll change. I say that it'll change. The wheels will start rolling again. It'll change. So like a big circle, everything comes around. But I think this is here. The spread offenses and stuff. It's here for a while. So. Yeah, and as a fan standpoint, it's fun to watch. You're getting your stinking money's worth, I guarantee you. So, but from a guy's standpoint that used to be in those low-scoring games, it's not much fun.
Well, I can attest to this, and you're not very smart now, Rob, but when you had Micah Tipton and Justin Rowland and Trent Goldsmith and Antoine English, you were a lot smarter.
Oh,
I don't know what you did to did you take a dumb pill or what? But you were a lot smarter when you had those 4 guys running linebacker, because you didn't give up a point for 5 straight games then. So
it's nuts. I'm just, I did get dumber. I'm just going to leave it at that.
Let me tell you, there wouldn't be anybody scored if those guys were still playing high school football. I don't know. Do you just see teams? I don't know whether it's concentration or what, but it seems like everybody has got. I'm not going to say they're better players, but you've got players that are playing wide receiver, not playing on the other side, or quarterback, not playing on the other side. You're specializing on the offensive side, and then you're almost just trying to get the best you can on the defensive side.
And that's what's happening. You've got the game now is so much more speed, and that's what's hurting us. I'm not going to lie about that. Every team that we play on Friday night's got faster kids than we've got, and it's tough. You take those kids on offense, you put them. I say, okay, this kid can play, receiver. This kid can play offensive line, and we want your offensive line not to have to play another position, so we can talk to them, get them straightened out, and all that stuff at our level. And then you take your better kids, and I'm not saying they're not any worse. You just take your better kids, you plug them in a defense, the kids that can run, and because that's what we've got to have to cover the other people. So our outside linebackers are covering flats, and they've got to go man on man sometime, and the secondary. It's nuts. And the defensive ends have got to be able to drop, and plus you want them to bang on the tight end. So you're making them do too many things a lot of times, which they can't do.
It's changed because there was a time when a linebacker, would be responsible for the run and maybe covering a back once in a while.
And that's it.
Now your linebackers, they've got to have the speed of cornerbacks, and your safeties have to have that speed. Right. But they also have to have the size of a linebacker to come up.
Make the plays.
They're not growing 6'2", 220-pound speedy players around here. There's just nobody has them, not just us. They're not growing them anywhere. So
that's right. So you got to have the linebackers dropping back 15, 20 yards. And that, 5 years ago that was unheard of.
Right.
So, but that's it.
What do you think about this week's game, Coach? Owasso?
I'll tell you what, Owasso, they'll it's their last home ball game. It'll be senior night for them, and they got a great ball club, and they got a wide receiver Hatcher kid over there that's going to University of Arkansas, and there's a reason why he's going to University of Arkansas. He's a man-child, so we're going to have. But the same token, if we double him up, they've got some other guys that'll just kill you too. So, we're in a dilemma here what we can and cannot do, and there's a bunch of things that we decided we could do Saturday and Sunday, but then are our kids able to do it? Or we put too much in their head this last ball game and stuff like that. So we're going to have to sit down this week and figure it out and see what they can do on the practice field, and because they're going to run the inside zone and the read, inside zone read, and they've got it all. So, I mean, you just don't beat Union with not having a great football team. So it's going to be a challenge, and hopefully we can catch them thinking about playoffs and going from there.
Very good. Ponca City will play at Owasso at 7:30 on Friday night. We'll be there, and we hope to see you there to support the Wildcats in their final game of the season. Coach, thanks very much. We'll talk to Rob next week as we wrap up the season. See you Friday in Owasso. For Coach Fry, Phil Turney, have a great evening.